If you've dabbled even a little bit in the anime community lately, you've likely heard of a pretty polarizing show called Beastars. I've heard it referred to as Dark Zootopia, and from a lot more people, just that furry hentai bullshit. And to be honest...
Well, little column A, little column B.
Okay, I'm not going to pretend I don't know where the furry jokes are coming from, because this Snow Bunny...
They loving the crew. They loving the crew. They loving the crew.
You get it? Snow Bunny? You know, because... Oh, you get it. Calling this show a furry hentai is blowing it way out of proportion. It never feels forced. It never feels gratuitous. The show is depicting an anthropomorphic society, and in society, people are gonna fuck. So it's gotta be in there, right? And honestly, this depiction of society is a lot more accurate than people would like to give it credit for. Whereas most things follow an escapist mindset with an either wild and adventurous world of immersion or a hyper-idealized version of real life. This show has actually gained the following it has because of its willingness to delve into the uglier aspects of society, like racism, sexism, identity, and how we confront those things.
Oh man, that's deep.
Now let's dive into what turned out to be one of this winter season's best anime. Now, since the show is made up entirely of animals, it was bound to draw comparisons to another show I'm a big fan of, BoJack Horseman. Both shows take a good hard look at society and feature some pretty intense subject matter. Using the backdrop of the rich and the famous, BoJack's heavy themes were addiction, inadequacy, relationships, and superficiality, and pretty much nails all four. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up too much because this show ain't no BoJack, but come on, not docking cool points for that. It does touch on a few things that have become really big in recent years, but it doesn't really get that deep into them. What is tackled here that's not looked at in BoJack, and holy shit, I didn't even realize that until I started writing this review, is racism. The story kicks off at Cherryton High School the night an herbivore student is murdered by a carnivore. Yo, I thought it was going to be like a whodunit kind of show, but after a day or two, they are straight up over that shit. No investigation, no nothing. So the herbivores are on edge because they think a carnivore is the murderer, and carnivores are basically the people of color in this world. The whole system is built to benefit the herbivores. Eating meat is strictly forbidden, it's taboo to bare your teeth, and it's basically a crime just to make herbivores feel unsafe. The mayor had to get his fangs removed so as to not even appear threatening. A lot of this holds up with the real life parallels of people of color pretty well, but it's not a one-for-one match. For instance, these characters have to live in a world with their natural enemies. How in the hell did the herbivores even end up as the puppet masters in this situation? Is the metaphor here supposed to be we have the power to overthrow them if we want it? I don't know. I might be reading too much into it. The pressure of living in this kind of society is evident in the close friend of the student who was killed and main character of the show, a gray wolf named Legoshi. Legoshi is plagued by self-consciousness about being a strong, predatory animal who people see as potentially dangerous. Multiply that with the fact not very long ago his puberty, predatory instincts got the best of him and caused him to almost murder a female student. In the first couple episodes, I thought he was kind of a pussy. Oh, and he is, but he's kind of forcing himself to be. Even among the carnivores, a gray wolf ain't the one you want to fuck with, and he is very aware of this. He goes to great lengths not to bare his fangs. He looks for ways to get out of fights he knows he'd win. He clips his claws, but they grow back. They paint a pretty vivid picture of what life is like for these carnivores and how they have to make all these concessions in order to fit in. But I wish they would show me what's the consequence. They show you that people go through all these hoops to try to seem pleasant and not to cause waves, but what's going to happen if they don't? Are they going to get shot by the police? Are they going to be shunned by their peers? Are they going to get kicked out of school? I want to see the consequence of it. But we don't get that. On the opposite end of the spectrum, there's Bust Down Tatiana, the dwarf rabbit, Haru. I don't think I've ever even seen a character like Haru in anime, at least not written unironically. I've definitely seen the idiotic, sexed up portrayals for comedy and fan service, but Haru's not doing that at all. Written completely seriously, this kind of character may actually catch on because it works so well here. She's cute, but she's not dumb. She stands up for herself, but she's not a bitchy tsundere. She gets around, but they don't force feed us that aspect of her, and I think it's really tastefully handled. In contrast with most other characters on the show, we can really see how tiny she is. Shots with her and Legoshi in them really drive home why these seemingly anti-carnivore laws exist in the first place. I wonder how women feel when they watch her. Seeing this peek into the psyche of the generally smaller and physically weaker of the sexes can be an eye-opener. In one of the most memorable scenes, Haru gives a gut-wrenching confession to Legoshi about why she sleeps around. And as a man, I am completely unable to relate to this. I can empathize as best as I am able to, but that's really it. I'll never know what it's like to walk around all day long with this in the back of my mind. I can only guess how intimidating it must be to be alone with a potential partner and know that I'm only as safe as this person allows me to be at the time. I like Haru. I really do. But I just don't see why the other characters like her. It's gotta be more than just getting that rabbit ass. I don't really ship her with any of the other characters. And I think maybe that's the point. Maybe we're supposed to see that she can just stand on her own, that she's been through some stuff, but she's handling it. And this is just how she deals, and that's okay. But let me tell you who's not doing okay. Louis, aka the People's Champ, aka Mr. Steal Your Girl. Before I even say anything else, watch this shit.
What is it? Open wide.
Louis.
Now. Don't tell me you went and ate that script. That is all that goats like you are good for, isn't it? Eating paper? This isn't the place to go around showing off, you know.
How you go? What's up? Boy. Hey, Louis is a gangster for real, but why the fuck is he so popular? He's an asshole. Like, for real, he's a straight up dickhead. Not gonna diss his trauma though. This boy was raised as live meat to be fed to carnivores on the black market. That's some deep shit. Having been raised like that definitely gave Louis some issues, and it's understandable. He kind of hates and is kind of jealous of carnivores. He always reacts in disgust whenever he sees Legoshi not appreciating his physical gifts, because he would do anything to be able to have those gifts himself, to have the power to have been able to avoid his past. I'm looking at this as kind of a twofold metaphor. On the one hand, Louis not a carnivore, but on the inside, he's got every bit of heart of a lion. I mean, he will take you on no matter what. He'd be smacking the fuck out of Legoshi. He's also the most popular guy in school and kind of in line to be the next Beastar. Would being a carnivore help him actually achieve that goal? Could he really act the way he does and get away with it if he were a carnivore? And what's driving him anyway? Once he becomes the Beastar and realizes his goal, what does he plan to do with it? Is he trying to make an herbivore-dominated society? Does he just want to say, look, Dad, I did it? Maybe season 2 will give us those answers. Alright, if you made it this far, you might have noticed I didn't really talk too much about what the story is actually about. What's the plot of the show? Bro, why you gotta ruin everything? Can't you just enjoy a hen working that sweet hen ass off to try to make some eggs for the homies? Huh? That's not good enough for you? Fucking lion gangs? Little trip to the theater? Huh? Excuse me. Yeah, man, I don't know what it's about. It seems like slice of life with animals. You know, I dig it. Okay, maybe the answer is it's not telling a story. It's painting a picture. A picture of a mirror. And in that mirror, we see ourselves. We see hope for a brighter